The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. And as always, we come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on? Well, it's options expiration, and not a whole lot is the answer. Let's see, what was I doing out here? Something wasn't right. I'd clicked on the wrong button, and everything didn't look quite right. Probably the biggest thing, of course, is that AMAT and NVIDIA both whiffed on earnings. NVIDIA, you kind of knew that they were going to be a little light. I think that probably people a little tough on NVIDIA. They're going to be launching their new flagship video card next week, and it is a smoker. We've gone through the specs. Also, they've leaked, or at least there has been some leaks of people testing the board compared to the, they give them like 980s and 1080s and 780s. I don't think they had an 880. Maybe they did. Maybe I missed it. They probably did. It was just, I think it was a warmed up 780. Well, this new 2080 is super smoking. We're going to talk about that with Tom O'Brien in the Tech Insider Hour next hour. Now, the question, I think a lot about it, people freaked out about the earnings for selling their chips into Bitcoin or just regular Bitcoin style mining for other folks too. They've kind of divorced themselves from that business so that it was down. Wasn't a real surprise to me. They're focusing on, I think, what they think is long-term, which is certainly the machine learning part of this business. We'll talk about how those cards are spec'd again in the next hour, but pretty hard stuff. More importantly, I think, to the market and to the SMHs, which aren't down as much as you would think they would be, with AMAT being off 6.5% and NVIDIA being off 4.6%. It's only down about 0.9%, but kind of at the lows, around the lows of the day. It's kind of, it hadn't really done much, at least if this thing is right, but I think it is. Just go back here and check. Yeah, not much of a range. 102.70 right now, lows 102.47, high is 102.85. So it's down, but percent, that's not the end of the world for the SMHs. They move a lot more than that sometimes against you or for you. Some of the other stocks that are down fairly hard, we'll take a look at JK Solar. Again, all the solar new agey things that just don't make economic sense are problematic when the green money checks go away from subsidies. I'm also starting to get a little bullish in commodities. I don't know exactly where the buys is, but there's either it's going to be in crude or the metals next week, I suspect. And we're starting to look forward to that. Of course, I use phones. My chair is extra squeaky today, and it's bothering me. I keep on moving around, and I think maybe it was just the way I was sitting. So anyway, we'll be looking at that. But you know what? Some of these things starting to look fairly washed out. I suspect that we continue to bounce around off the highs and off support probably into the beginning of September. A lot of people probably thinking that the disinformation from the news media is probably true about the election. and then that would affect the markets themselves. But it's tough for me after the last two election cycles where they've been extremely wrong to think that they're any less wrong and more just noise. They don't know, and I don't think that they know that they don't know that they can't predict the election going forward. There is one guy that I look at that got it right last time, has gotten it right for the last 20 years. He uses a model based on economics to say who's going to win and who's not. And we'll see how that turns out this time. 20 years, not a lifetime, but I think his data goes back 60 or 70 years. Goes back to right after the Second World War. And he's been very good. And that is just the people that are in power tend to stay in power as long as the economy's going well. If the economy's not going well, a different story. So, we get a few more wins for the Trumpster in trade going into the fall. That may change everything. And of course, we're still 90 days out. And who knows? A lot of things can change. I do like the fact that gold is hated. It's dead. The ugly yellow metal. When people all hate it, I kind of want to go over there and take a look at it. Crude also kind of the same thing. And I'm not so much crude as energy in general and some of the energy stocks. I think maybe those things might be looking fairly interesting. I think it is much tougher to go back here and make a case before September in many of these semiconductors. Although I do think that next year we're probably going to have a banner year in semiconductors. This is just a kind of a normal lull going into the next giant upgrade cycle in technology, which is going to be next year. So the question is, will you be there to buy technology as it turns for the natural tide coming in next year as 5G really kind of loads up the markets with a lot of money? I think that there's going to be a lot in there. In fact, I got a letter today from T-Mobile talking about setting up home internet through their 5G antennas that they put up around me. So we'll have to see. Not many specifics in it. So I'm not going to, I'm just going to say right now it's a fluff letter, but it's telling you that maybe you have another option other than Spectrum cable for your internet. And we'll see what else is going on. Give me a call at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. Of course, you can put a email or a note in the den already. Now, of course, the only really thing I see of extreme note here is the dollar. DXU8 contract is down 41 cents, but still in this 96 level, 96.07. I don't see a lot that makes me think that 96 is going to, we're going to lose that handle. But it's just kind of bouncing around in this area. I guess as the news gets better with NAFTA and China, it's a little tougher for the dollar to stay up here, but still looks pretty strong to me. We'll be back, talk a little history. Then we're going to get into a lot of charts that I didn't have time to get into yesterday.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live, and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And what do we got going on here? Just take a quick look. Up 9 on the S&P cash, Dow up 127, NASDAQ up 7. So, what do we got here? I want to look and see. Good day, good day. So everything's going good with my position in the Tech Insider. Actually, the new Tech Insider should be out any moment if it's not out already. Just keeping a close eye on things. We'll see anything else here. Nope. Time to go to a little history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1982, the Visitors album by ABBA becomes the world's first commercial music compact disc, manufactured, pressed in Germany by Polygram Records, a subsidiary of Royal Philips Electronics. Philips and Sony co-developed the CD standard, which is designed to be the successor of the phonograph record. By the time the CD went on sale in November that year, about 150 titles were ready to ship and sold. I remember going into the store when the first CD players actually showed up. They didn't sound that good. They really didn't have the compression and the digitizing quite correct. It sounded better than a cheap stereo, but not better than a good stereo. And it was probably 5 years before they really had double over sampling and 24-bit A to Ds and all the other stuff in the CD players that actually made them sound okay. Kind of weird, though, that one of the biggest trends is people going back to vinyl these days. In fact, I see lots of ads for turntables that have been I wouldn't call it remanufactured. It sounds like a car part, but refurbished for use today. And I get a lot of ads for tone arm needles, too, and cartridges, which is kind of interesting. I had those at a long time. They were kind of a big pain, but man, did they have kind of a rich, wonderful sound. On this day in 1982, it all started. And of course, it never ended. I guess it just kind of faded, didn't it? Now everybody's streaming and it's all memory. When's the last time someone tried to give you a CD? People kind of, and now even the thumb drive is kind of, I'm just going to download it. I think that's kind of the idea everybody has now. I wanted to get into some of the charts that we kind of ran out of time with yesterday. As I said, starting to look from some of the Gartley patterns. Where's my Gartley from yesterday? There we are. I wanted to look and see how a few of these did. As we said, some of these energy stocks looking rather interesting, so I wanted to look and see what we had in the way of Gartley patterns. Not bad. XOG, which is extraction, oil, and gas. Now, some of these have a little bit too much energy on the C to D, but there are a lot of Gartley patterns in these stocks. So I wouldn't be, this one's not one I'm going long, but just the sheer number of them that are turning up in the scans now, I think it's fairly interesting. S&P oil and gas, which is the XES, and may have just a little bit more to go. It's done a 72% retrace of the X to A. I like this one a little bit better. The volume's a little, or the energy off the C to the D is a little less, but I think that one could come down a little more. So I think we're a few days away from it. The USO, another interesting looking Gartley. This one got to an 80% retracement of the X to A point on it. And energy's about the same. So again, I wouldn't be short these things. They're kind of interesting. Some of the other stocks showing Gartley patterns lately is ST Electronics, Microelectronics, STM, the symbol on this one. Kind of bouncing around at the floors, but like I said, energy was just a tiny bit more. The reason I'm interested in this one is not so much the Gartley pattern, but a nice three-gap play that would take you from 19 bucks to 25.50, which is, I don't know, 25, 28% on that one. If it would just go back, and this is kind of a prime candidate for that three-gap play. It may just need a little bit more time to set the bottom up, though. Again, I'm not doing anything today. It is options expiration. Monday and Tuesday are options expiration rollover days. And generally, then we start moving again on Wednesday. And guess what happens? Okay, so Wednesday's the 22nd. We've got a handful of days, maybe one more week, and we're already back into fund buying, which is like starts the 30th, which is a Thursday. Now, probably going to be light and variable into that, but I think we get back from the Memorial Day weekend, and that sets up, I think, the fall beginning. A lot of doom and gloom set for the election. I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more reality in the polls. A lot of these are kind of self-serving polls. I don't think that they have a lot of reality in them, and I think the market's kind of showing this already. Anyway, Rite Aid. Now this one's got a little bit of a bounce, but still way too much energy off this in the C to D. But other ones out here that have been hit with bullish butterfly Gartleys are Las Vegas Sands. This one came down on a little bit more volume, energy from the C to D, but you know, this thing's down at about 65 bucks. You got a big gap at about 74 on a bounce. And the A to B had more energy than the C to D. So, you know, could you get a fairly decent bounce back up into this big gap down that goes back to, what is that, the 26th of July? That wouldn't be surprising to see, you know, 73, 74 bucks out of it on a bounce. IEZ, which is the Dow Jones Oil Equipment Services Index, another one with a Gartley. I would like, man, just a little bit more. Now, this one's got a gap that would be beautiful. It would hit 33. It's at 34 now. This is the IEZ. This is the U.S. Dow Jones. U.S. Oil and Gas Services Index. Now, this one I like. The energy on the C to D on this one is half of what the A to B was, and it's just a little less than the X to A. So none of these are fantastic, but it does look like we could, into next week, find some of these making some nice runs in the next week. I certainly don't see any reason to be short energy through the next week or so, and I think some of these can just bounce after being smacked down a lot. And this is a biotech. I don't have a lot for that. When we come back, we'll talk about Gush. Yep, Gush, the direction. Daily S&P oil and gas exploration and production bull 3X, and what this one looks like.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary Power Law Vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of the Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD, Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Well, we've got a lot of questions and a caller. So we'll go to the caller first. We'll get to the questions in a few minutes. We're going to go to Bill in Worcestershire sauce. How you doing today, Bill?
In Worcester.
Worcester.
Doing okay.
Yeah.
I've got a question on one stock is AJRD that I was following for a long time but never got in on it.
Yeah, I was watching it too. Yeah. Go ahead.
I kind of peaked out around 37, and I'm trying to figure out what would be a good entry.
At the top of this big candle. What's the day on this? I think it's just under 34 on the 31st. Yeah, 6.2 million shares that day. That's probably going to come back around that $34 level. These guys had a
right after earnings, right?
Yeah, well, I think there's a few more things going on. They got a booster rocket. For people who don't know this company, this is Aerojet Rocketdyne Holdings, and they're making some of the boosters and engines for space delivery systems. And there is a huge, SpaceX, Blue Origin, and some of the companies that feed them, like this company, which is the space delivery. What are they? I want to call it something else. It's a space delivery, space whatever. Anyway, to this company could be monstrous, and that's why I kept an eye on it. These guys have been working on a thing called an Aerojet or Aerospike for a long time. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No, I haven't.
One of the reasons that there's a lot of different stages on regular rockets is that the bell, where all the hot stuff comes out of, is dependent a lot on at least the design and efficiency is based on the air pressure. So if you're launching at sea level, by the time you get to 30,000 feet, there's a big difference in the design that you would want to get maximum efficiency. The bell design would be different on the exhaust. You following me?
Yeah, yeah.
So what these guys have made, I don't know if you've ever seen like an F-16 Eagle. It's got, like, they call them turkey feathers on the tail. They can actually change the size of the exhaust. It's the exact same kind of thing, except actually it's kind of more rectangular for rockets. So they can actually aim them, but they can change the exhaust speed depending on the outside pressure. Same thing in the F-16 engines and other ones. You'll see that kind of turkey feather. They call them turkey feathers on the back of them. You'll see when they go to take off and put the coals to the jet engines, they get very small. It's kind of like putting your thumb over the end of a water hose and watching it spray real far. This same thing, right? It exacerbates the amount of thrust you can get, but what size that hole is dependent on the atmosphere. So anyway, this Aerospike engine is kind of the holy grail of jet engines, because you could get rid of a stage or two in these rockets. These guys have been working on one forever, if I remember right. So this could be a huge thing. If right now no one uses them, because the question is, how many launches do you have to get these engines approved? And that is the tough part. How many of them blow up before they go out? But they could be 30% more efficient than the current rocket engines. SpaceX didn't do it because, they just had a certain pool of money to get going. But a lot of people think that that's the future of it. Anyway, these guys built a new, I think it's a solid rocket booster for the space delivery system. And, I think everybody talk about the gold rushes of the late 1800s. The gold rush now is space. So I like the sector. I like the story. These guys, do have a fairly decent product now. And that's why you got that huge move in stock. But they do have something. Huh?
I've got another question that maybe I can take, when I get off the air. But I signed up for your newsletter recently, and I'm still kind of confused. Like when you see this chart you have in the back, do you want less of a power going down on the down legs, or do you want more of a power going down on the down legs?
It depends on what I want. Let's talk about a particular chart. Do you have one in mind?
Well, I was looking at this one, this AJRD.
Okay.
It's got a huge
right.
power.
You had this huge spike higher, right? and we've got a 2.8 going higher on this leg. In fact, I'll zoom in. So what you want when this thing pulls back down is you want very light energy. So you want this thing this is an average of a handful of days. So there is no average yet. You've only got 3 days off the top. On the 4th day, it'll start drawing a line and start showing you the energy. But if we just let's go to one that's a little bit better. Are you talking about Tech Insider or the path of least resistance?
I got both of them now.
Okay. What I'm going to say is here's the Gartley, right? Let's go to the dig, which is one I was showing off this morning. Even though you had huge downside on August 15th, the energy in the X to A had a 0.7, but even with that huge day, the C to D only got a 0.5. So that's telling me that even with that huge down day, there was less energy from the C to D point, which is bullish, right? If it had more energy, that would have been bearish. We had more people selling. So anytime I look at a stock, I want it to be telling me the story that if I want to go long, did that energy decrease into that low? And if I want to go short, I want to see the same thing. I want to see that energy decrease into that high, not only at the high with the volumes, but I also want to see that energy really, in fact, most times I want to see the energy drop in half before I'll actually do something. It's just there's not a great deal of stocks out there right now that are doing that. Let's see if I've got, I had some other ones. Maybe they were yesterday, maybe the day before. Let's take a quick look here. Let me find a quick example if I can, because I think there were a couple of them out here. See what happened. It may just take too long. I didn't have that many. Maybe a BBY. I'm trying to remember what it was. Okay, here's a good example. Bed, I can't even say it. Bed, Bath, and Beyond. We'll talk more about this when we come out, but I'll show you on this one that there was a lot of energy from the June 28th low to the July 9th high, and then you had a nice long pullback and the energy decreased, and you had a nice low volume low out here on August 2nd. We'll talk about this more.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329 8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we have still Bill on the phone. Are you still there?
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for that Bed Bath & Beyond chart, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go to that. So this is what I'm looking at.
In Recognia, which is some software that was hooked up with Schwab that I use, and they're predicting a 20% upside swing in this.
20% side on what?
An upside swing in this stock.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to tell you that if you're short, you probably should cover. What I like is that you have this low, and that low came in on July 28th, right? And then you go up, and I've got a 7.7 on my power law vector indicator. That's telling you how much energy is from that June 28th low to the July 9th high. So you bounce. Jim Wyckoff, which is kind of the patron saint of volume and energy trading, he would call this the automatic rally. It goes down, and you really can't predict it, and then it rallies, right? And you get a lot of volume, and then you get the pullback. And what you want in the pullback is light energy. So you had 7.7 on the way up. You got 4.7 on the way back down. You get back under this $18.11 low of June 28th that had 15 million shares with only 3 million shares on August 2nd. And now the thing's just going sideways, right? So for me, you didn't get much of a bounce, but you got exactly what you want, which is a lot of times at lows, if you see a stock go sideways like it has since August 2nd, that means that there's somebody with a buy just sitting there buying this thing anytime it hits, looks like $18.25. Right? So they're just buying it, and eventually the people that are selling it will kind of give up. I'm not big on retail, but this looks like an accumulation pattern as long as you continue to have light volume. Now, what happens is a lot of people forget, they get mad, they sell their stock, and then you get the big bounce. So let's see the other thing, which is how short this one is. Do I have that up? I do not. Let me get that up real quick. I'm just going through a theoretical. I'm not a big fan of Bed Bath & Below, but this does show you what I'm looking for, BBBY. Okay, 18, 12%. Right now, okay, 9 days to cover. You know what that means?
Not really, but
okay. On the
average,
average,
for the next 9 days, there's going to be a big movement somehow.
No, that means that there are so many people short that if the average volume for the last 30 days, it would take, if only the shorts bought, it would take 9 days to get them out.
Okay.
So what this tells you is that you've got a crowded theater with one door to the exit, And if someone screams fire, you're going to have a lot of people piled up on the door. Fire's going to, everybody's going to try to get out the door at once in a panic. And what do? You get those huge short squeezes in the market. So I like this. This thing's gone up to a 22.3% short position. In these kind of stocks, I tend to like options better than I do buying the equity, just because this thing hasn't been doing well for a long time. So the risk is probably going to be less in the options. Do you play options at all?
Yeah, well, I started with your newsletter, and I'm very happy with the results. I can tell you that.
If not a little bit blue out here. Let me get a few things more up. Just having to reboot after getting slogged here fairly hard. Let's see about getting it all back up. Are you still there? Or has he already dropped? I am here. Just give me a second to get everything back up and running. Just text me a second. I got knocked off of the internet, and that's not a good thing to do, but that's what happens with the internet. What do we have? Is he still there? Is he back on the line? Is he gone? I don't hear him, so I'm going to assume that that's it. Anyway, we'll go back to the conversation that I can hopefully remember. We were talking about Bed Bath, BBBY. You've got, what did I say, 9 days to cover. And with 9 days to cover, that means that you'll take 9 days if just the people that are short, not any people that want to buy it because it's long. And of course, that creates a stampede with the usual results, and that's why you see huge moves in the stock market on stocks that are just this incredibly oversold. And of course, if you go back and look at this one, we are back to this level. So huge short squeezes. The color, oh, you don't have the color, don't have the charts. Okay. Do I have that up? There we go. When we were looking at this, I'm trying to get my bearings yet again. We've got a few questions in here that I forgot. We'll try to get them into the last segment too. And what is that? Anyway, as we go to break here, 3.8 billion shares on the S&P cash. That's not much. At 76 on the downside, and yesterday on the upside, about 6.5 billion shares. So the volume continues to be light on the upside, heavy on the downside. And we want that to turn around. We'll be back.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And talking about stocks with huge short positions, someone wanted me to take a look at Snap. So we're going to get to that before the end of the day. This is a beautiful chart. I mean, this thing's done and run a couple of times. But you know what? This thing back at about $10 may be one of the biggest ones of all time. I don't know if it gets there. This may be it. This around this level may be support. This is another one with a monster short positions. Everybody keeps climbing on it. But you had a nice run from 1050, the May 17th low, up to 1447. This thing has been coming back. Again, I'm thinking that we could see the market kind of bounce around and make some significant lows around that first week in September, and then start moving up through the fall. I think we're going to see some of the traders see some of the polls, and they're going to figure out that probably everything's going to be okay, at least for business. It may not suit your political stylings, but I have a feeling that the market's going to think, okay, I don't think things are as bad as everybody thinks they are. But those polls probably don't mean a lot till you get into the first week of September. So I think that's what everybody's going to look like. They're going to come back from September. We're going to see some of these hugely shorted stocks. But you know what? This thing's got incredibly light volume on the way back down. So Bed Bath and below, Snap, some of these other ones are, this is a monster for me because I've got a 19 on the Power Law Vector indicator on the way up to that $14.47 high and a 10 on the way back. So basically, the energy is incredibly light on the way back. I'll be back in the bottom half of the next hour with Tom O'Brien. We'll be talking lots of neat new technology that's been out in the next couple of weeks. Lots of interesting stuff. So join me then. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we will see you Monday. Same bat channel, same bat time.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.